Today, we're diving into a fascinating cognitive bias that affects all of us to some degree: illusory superiority. It's also known as the above-average effect or the Lake Wobegon Effect. So let's explore what this bias is all about and how it impacts our lives. Howdy, I'm just some random nude dude sitting in my closet talking to myself. It's also where I celebrate the power of free thinking and encourage bold ideas. As a society, we're often afraid to challenge the norms and think outside the box. But here, I embrace the unconventional. So sit back, relax, and join me on this journey of exploration, where we embrace our inner nude dude and push boundaries to discover new perspectives. Welcome to an insightful journey into the intriguing realm of illusory superiority. In this exploration, we aim to unravel the intricate layers of a cognitive bias that resides within all of us, affecting our self-perception, decision-making, relationships, and personal growth. Whether you're a seasoned scholar of psychology or simply curious about the quirks of the human mind, this discussion promises to shed light on a phenomenon that touches every aspect of our lives. Illusory superiority, often referred to as the Lake Wobegon Effect or the above-average effect, is a fascinating and often confounding cognitive bias. At its core, it reflects our tendency as human beings to overestimate our abilities, qualities, or traits in relation to others. In other words, most people believe they are better than average in various domains of life, from intelligence and driving skills to humor and attractiveness. The roots of illusory superiority dig deep into the fertile soil of our evolutionary past and the intricacies of our social interactions. Understanding this bias offers not only a glimpse into our psychology, but also valuable insights into the dynamics of human behavior, perception, and decision-making. As we embark on this exploration, we'll journey through multiple segments, each dissecting a different facet of illusory superiority. We'll start by unraveling the psychology behind the phenomenon, delving into the Dunning-Kruger Effect, a specific manifestation of the bias that captures the essence of illusory superiority. From there, we'll navigate the impact of this bias on decision-making, relationships, and personal growth, unveiling ways in which it shapes our choices and interactions. We'll explore the intricate dance between illusory superiority and confirmation bias, two biases that often walk hand in hand. Cultural and gender differences in the expression of illusory superiority will come into focus, highlighting the role of cultural norms, socialization, and stereotypes in influencing our self-perception. We'll also examine practical strategies to overcome this bias, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness, humility, and an open mindset. Real-world examples will illustrate how illusory superiority plays out in everyday life, showcasing its presence in diverse domains, from academics and driving abilities to social media personas and political beliefs. Finally, we'll conclude our journey with a renewed understanding of the complexity of the human mind and the critical importance of navigating illusory superiority for personal growth, empathy, and building more harmonious relationships. So let's embark on this voyage of self-discovery and cognitive exploration as we peel back the layers of illusory superiority to reveal the fascinating interplay between perception and reality. Illusory superiority, often referred to as the above-average effect or the Lake Wobegon Effect, is a cognitive bias that runs deep in the human psyche. At its core, it's a tendency for individuals to overestimate their abilities, qualities, or traits in comparison to others. In simpler terms, it's a belief that we are better than average in various aspects of life. The term Lake Wobegon Effect is named after a fictional town called Lake Wobegon, created by American author and humorist Garrison Keillor. It was popularized by David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger in their research on illusory superiority. The name serves as a humorous and memorable reference to the cognitive bias, where people tend to overestimate their abilities and believe they are above average. In Lake Wobegon, a fictional town in Keillor's radio show, A Prairie Home Companion, it was a running joke that all the women were strong, all the men were good-looking, and all the children were above average. This exaggerated portrayal of the townspeople's self-perceived excellence in all aspects of life mirrors the essence of illusory superiority. The term Lake Wobegon Effect captures the idea that many people tend to see themselves as better than average, even when it's statistically impossible for everyone to be above average, as humorously exemplified in Keeler's fictional town. One of the most well-known manifestations of illusory superiority is the Dunning-Kruger Effect, named after psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger, who extensively researched this bias. This effect illustrates a particular paradox. Individuals with lower levels of competence in a particular area tend to overestimate their competence, while those who are highly competent may underestimate their abilities. Illusory superiority is underpinned by several psychological mechanisms. One of them is the bias blind spot, which is the belief that while biases may affect others, we ourselves are immune to them. This blind spot can make it challenging to recognize illusory superiority within ourselves. This bias isn't limited to a single domain. It permeates various aspects of life, from intelligence and driving skills to humor and attractiveness. People tend to rate themselves as above average in a wide range of traits and abilities. The origins of this bias are complex and can be traced back to evolutionary psychology and social dynamics. In terms of evolution, it may have conferred advantages by boosting confidence and motivation. Socially, it can help maintain positive self-esteem and facilitate interactions, as people are generally drawn to confident individuals. While illusory superiority can have positive effects, such as boosting self-confidence, it can also lead to negative consequences. Overconfidence can result in poor decision-making, strained relationships, and resistance to feedback. It can hinder personal growth by preventing individuals from recognizing areas where improvement is needed. Illusory superiority is a cognitive bias deeply ingrained in human perception. It manifests as a tendency to view ourselves more favorably than objective reality might suggest. Recognizing this bias is the first step towards a more accurate self-assessment and more informed decision-making. In the following segments, we'll explore the intricate ways in which illusory superiority influences our lives and how we can navigate its effects. The Dunning-Kruger Effect is a specific manifestation of illusory superiority that's particularly intriguing. So, what's the Dunning-Kruger Effect all about? At its core, the Dunning-Kruger Effect highlights the fascinating quirk of human psychology. It reveals that people with a low confidence in a particular area tend to overestimate their abilities in that very area. In simpler terms, they don't have enough expertise to recognize their own incompetence. Imagine someone who's just starting to learn to play a musical instrument. They might believe they're already quite skilled, even though they can barely play a simple tune. It's not because they're intentionally being overconfident. It's because they lack the knowledge and experience to accurately assess their abilities. This phenomenon is humorously summarized as "you don't know what you don't know." In other words, when we're beginners in something, we often can't see the full scope of what we don't yet understand. It's only as we gain more expertise and knowledge that we begin to recognize how much we didn't know at the outset. The Dunning-Kruger Effect is crucial to understanding why some people confidently make inaccurate judgments and decisions. They genuinely believe they're making the right choices or that they're highly skilled, even when evidence suggests otherwise. This can lead to blunders in various areas of life, from academics to work to personal relationships. So, in essence, the Dunning-Kruger Effect is like a spotlight on the gap between our perceived competence and our actual competence. It's a reminder that humility and self-awareness are essential as we navigate our learning journeys. Embracing the fact that we all start as novices and acknowledging that there's always more to learn can help us avoid the pitfalls of overconfidence that the Dunning-Kruger Effect can lead to. Illusory superiority is a fascinating cognitive bias that affects our self-perception and decision-making in various ways. To understand how it works, we need to delve into the psychology behind it. At its core, illusory superiority is rooted in our innate human tendency to compare ourselves to others. We constantly assess how we measure up to those around us, whether it's in terms of intelligence, attractiveness, or skills. This comparison serves as a benchmark for our self-esteem and self-worth. Now here's where the bias creeps in. When we perceive ourselves as doing better than the average person in a particular skill or trait, we tend to conclude that we're quite good at it. Our brains rely on this limited comparison to make judgments about our abilities. It's as if we're wearing a pair of rose-tinted glasses that make our skills and qualities look better than they might actually be. This cognitive bias can be particularly powerful because it's something we're not consciously in control of. It operates at the subconscious level, shaping our self-image and influencing our decisions without us even realizing it. For example, if we believe we're above-average drivers, we might take risks on the road, thinking we can handle them better than others. Or, if we think we're exceptionally intelligent, we might dismiss opposing viewpoints in a debate, assuming our perspective is superior. The danger lies in this unfounded confidence. It can lead to poor decision-making and a lack of self-awareness. We might not seek out opportunities for improvement or growth in areas where we believe we excel, which can ultimately hinder our personal and professional development. To counteract the effects of illusory superiority, it's essential to cultivate self-awareness. This involves honest self-reflection and a willingness to seek objective feedback from others. It means actively questioning our own abilities and being open to the possibility that we might not be as exceptional as we think in certain areas, or maybe in all areas. In essence, understanding how illusory superiority operates is the first step towards mitigating its impact on our lives. It's a reminder that none of us are immune to biases, and embracing humility and a realistic self-assessment can lead to more informed decisions and personal growth. Illusory superiority, as we've discussed, can significantly impact the decisions we make in various aspects of our life. Understanding how this bias affects our choices is critical because it can lead to both positive and negative outcomes. Illusory superiority can influence the career paths we choose. For instance, someone who believes they are exceptionally talented in a specific area may pursue a career in that area, even if they lack the necessary skills and qualifications. This can result in job dissatisfaction and challenges in achieving success. In the realm of finance, individuals who overestimate their financial acumen may make risky investments, assuming they can outperform the market. This can lead to financial losses and stress. In personal relationships, illusory superiority can affect our choice of partners. If we believe we're more attractive or desirable than others, we may have unrealistic expectations and struggle to form healthy, lasting connections. When it comes to health and lifestyle decisions, believing we are healthier or more disciplined than others can lead to neglecting important aspects of our well-being. This might include skipping regular checkups, ignoring exercise, or making poor dietary choices. Illusory superiority can also have implications in leadership and managerial roles. Leaders who overestimate their abilities may make decisions that are not in the best interest of their teams or organizations, leading to problems in the workplace. In education, students who think they're exceptionally intelligent might avoid seeking help when they encounter difficulties. This can hinder their academic progress and limit their learning potential. When it comes to creativity and innovation, believing we are more creative than others can lead to a lack of collaboration and a resistance to new ideas. This can stifle innovation and limit progress. It's essential to recognize that illusory superiority doesn't always result in negative outcomes. In some cases, a healthy dose of confidence may be motivating and lead to success. However, it's the overconfidence and lack of self-awareness that can be problematic. To mitigate the negative impact of illusory superiority on decision-making, it's vital to cultivate self-awareness and seek objective feedback. Being open to constructive criticism and acknowledging our areas of improvement can lead to better informed choices and personal growth. Illusory superiority can have far-reaching consequences on the decisions we make in various areas of life. Recognizing the bias and actively working to balance our self-perception with objective feedback can lead to more successful and fulfilling choices. Illusory superiority isn't just about how we see ourselves. It also influences how we interact with others and the quality of our relationships. Let's explore how this cognitive bias can shape our social lives. When we believe we're superior in a particular skill, trait, or aspect of life, it can lead to arrogance and dismissiveness. For example, if someone thinks they're exceptionally intelligent, they might come across as condescending or quick to dismiss others' ideas, assuming theirs are always superior. This can strain relationships and hinder effective communication. Illusory superiority can also impair our empathy. If we're convinced we're better than others in certain areas, we might struggle to empathize with their challenges and difficulties. This can lead to a lack of understanding and support in personal and professional relationships. Believing we're superior can foster unhealthy competition in relationships. Whether it's in friendships, romantic partnerships, or workplace dynamics, the need to constantly prove our superiority can create tension and conflict. Collaboration often requires humility and the recognition that others have valuable contributions to make. Illusory superiority can make it challenging to work effectively in teams, as individuals may resist input from others, believing their own ideas are always the best. In leadership roles, this bias can be particularly damaging. Leaders who are convinced of their superiority may not seek input from their team members, leading to poor decision-making and disengagement among employees. In personal relationships, believing we're more attractive or desirable than others can lead to unrealistic expectations in partners. This can result in a series of failed relationships as we continuously seek someone who matches our inflated self-image. Illusory superiority can contribute to social isolation. People may avoid social situations or withdraw from groups where their self-perception as superior is challenged. This can lead to missed opportunities for personal growth and connection. Recognizing the impact of illusory superiority on social interactions and relationships is essential. It's not just about how we see ourselves. It's about how our self-perception affects the interactions with others. Recognizing the impact of illusory superiority on social interactions and relationships is essential. It's not just about how we see ourselves. It's about how our self-perception affects the interactions with others. To foster healthier relationships and more positive social interactions, we need to acknowledge that nobody is superior in every aspect of life. Embrace humility as a means to learn from others and to grow personally. Practice active listening to understand others' perspectives and challenges genuinely. This can help you connect with people on a deeper level. Be open to constructive feedback from friends, family, or colleagues. Use this feedback to gain a more accurate assessment of yourself. Cultivate empathy by trying to understand the experiences and feelings of others, even if you believe you excel in certain areas. Empathy can strengthen relationships and lead to more meaningful connections. Illusory superiority can have a significant impact on our social interactions and relationships, potentially leading to misunderstandings, conflicts, and isolation. Recognizing this bias and actively working to balance our self-perception with empathy and humility can foster healthier and more fulfilling connections with others. Illusory superiority, as we've discussed, is a cognitive bias that can have profound effects on our personal growth and self-improvement journey. Here we'll explore how this bias can hinder our path to becoming better versions of ourselves. One of the primary challenges posed by illusory superiority is complacency. When we believe we're already above average in a particular skill or trait, we may feel there's no need to put in additional effort to improve. This can lead to stagnation in our personal development. Those affected by illusory superiority may resist or dismiss constructive feedback. They may believe they're already experts in areas they perceive themselves as superior, making it difficult for them to accept advice or learn from others. Illusory superiority can cause individuals to overlook valuable learning opportunities. They may avoid seeking out educational experiences or training programs because they believe they're already highly competent. Adaptability is a crucial skill for personal growth and success in a rapidly changing world. However, those influenced by illusory superiority may resist change, assuming their current methods or knowledge are superior and don't require adjustment. This bias can lead to narrow perspectives on life. Individuals may become closed off to alternative viewpoints or approaches, believing that their way is always the best way. This can limit creativity and hinder problem solving. Since people influenced by this bias often see themselves as highly competent, failure can be particularly challenging for them to handle. When they do encounter setbacks, it may be more difficult to bounce back and persevere. In personal relationships, the lack of self-awareness stemming from illusory superiority can strain connections. A partner who believes that they're superior may struggle to empathize with their significant other's challenges, leading to relationship difficulties. In the professional sphere, biases can have career implications. It may limit one's willingness to take on new challenges, seek promotions, or engage in continuous learning and development. To overcome these challenges and foster personal growth despite illusory superiority, individuals can take several steps. Engage in regular self-reflection and identify areas where you may be overly confident. Ask yourself whether your self-perception aligns with objective reality. Actively seek feedback from mentors, peers, or supervisors. Encourage others to provide honest assessments of your skills and areas for improvement. Cultivate a growth mindset, which emphasizes the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages continuous learning and improvement. Challenge yourself by stepping out of your comfort zone and taking on new experiences or tasks that may stretch your abilities. Keep an open mind and be receptive to alternative viewpoints and approaches. Understand that there's always room for growth and learning. Illusory superiority can pose significant challenges to personal growth and self-improvement. Overcoming these challenges requires self-awareness, a willingness to seek feedback, and an open mindset that embraces continuous learning and adaptation. Illusory superiority is closely intertwined with another cognitive bias known as confirmation bias. In this segment, we'll delve into how these biases intersect and their implications. Confirmation bias is the tendency to seek, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses while ignoring or dismissing contradictory evidence. It's like wearing tinted glasses that filter out information that doesn't align with what we already believe. Illusory superiority can contribute to confirmation bias in several ways. When we believe we're superior in a particular area, we tend to actively seek out information that supports our self-perception. For example, if we think we're highly knowledgeable about a topic, we're more likely to search for articles and studies that reinforce our existing knowledge. Conversely, we may dismiss or downplay information that challenges our self-perception. If we encounter evidence that suggests we're not as skilled or knowledgeable as we think, we might ignore it or find ways to discredit it. Illusory superiority can lead to the formation of echo chambers, where we surround ourselves with like-minded individuals who share our inflated self-perception. In these echo chambers, confirmation bias is amplified because everyone reinforces each other's beliefs. The combination of illusory superiority and confirmation bias can significantly impact our decision-making and belief systems. Here's how. When we selectively gather and interpret information that supports our overconfident self-image, we may make poor decisions based on incomplete or biased data. This can have consequences in various areas of life, from personal relationships to career choices. Confirmation bias stemming from illusory superiority can make us resistant to change. We become less willing to consider alternative viewpoints or adjust our beliefs, even when it's clear that a change is necessary. Over time, this bias combination can hinder personal growth. We remain in our comfort zones, unwilling to challenge our existing beliefs or explore new possibilities for fear of undermining our self-perception. To mitigate the negative effects of illusory superiority and confirmation bias, we need to develop critical thinking skills that encourage us to question our beliefs and actively seek out diverse perspectives. Consciously expose yourself to a variety of information sources, even those that may challenge your beliefs. This can help balance confirmation bias. Make an effort to seek out evidence or arguments that contradict your pre-existing beliefs. This can help you make informed decisions. Recognize that nobody's perfect, and there's always room for growth and improvement. Embracing humility can help counteract the effects of illusory superiority. The combination of illusory superiority and confirmation bias can lead to a reinforcing loop of self-confirmation and limit personal growth and decision-making. Awareness of these biases and active efforts to counteract them are essential to make more balanced and informed choices. Recognizing and addressing illusory superiority is crucial for personal growth and more accurate self-assessment. In this segment, we'll explore practical strategies to overcome this cognitive bias. Begin by acknowledging that everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Embrace the idea that it's normal to have areas where you excel and areas where you can improve. Engage in regular self-reflection. Take time to assess your skills and qualities objectively. Ask yourself whether your self-perception aligns with reality. Actively seek feedback from others, such as friends, mentors, or colleagues. Encourage them to provide honest assessments of your abilities and areas for improvement. Be open to constructive criticism. Understand that feedback, even if it challenges your self-perception, can be incredibly valuable for personal growth. Adopt a growth mindset, which emphasizes the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages continuous learning and improvement. Emphasize the process of learning and development rather than fixating on the end result. Understand that mistakes and failures are opportunities for growth. Step out of your comfort zone and take on challenges that push your boundaries. This can include acquiring new skills, pursuing educational opportunities, tackling tasks you've been avoiding, or starting a YouTube channel. Embrace the idea that growth often occurs when you face challenges and learn from them. Maintain an open mindset and be receptive to alternative viewpoints and approaches. Understand that there is always more than one way to approach a problem or task. Practice active listening when engaging in discussions or debates. Make a genuine effort to understand others' perspectives before forming judgments. Surround yourself with a diverse group of people who can offer different viewpoints and experiences. Exposure to diverse perspectives can broaden your understanding and challenge your assumptions. Engage in discussions and collaborations with individuals from different backgrounds and with different expertise. Embrace humility as a valuable trait. Understand that humility doesn't mean self-deprecation. It means acknowledging your limitations and being open to growth. Recognize that nobody's perfect, and even the most accomplished individuals have areas where they can improve. Reflect on past instances where you may have overestimated your abilities or made decisions based on illusory superiority. Analyze the outcomes and learn from them. Use these reflections as a source of motivation to continue improving and to avoid falling into the same traps in the future. Overcoming illusory superiority requires a combination of self-awareness, a growth mindset, openness to feedback, and a willingness to embrace humility. It's an ongoing process that involves continuous self-improvement and a commitment to more accurate self-assessment. By actively working on these strategies, you can mitigate the effects of this bias and make more informed choices in various aspects of your life. Illusory superiority can manifest differently across cultures and genders. In this segment, we'll examine these variations and their implications. Cultural norms and values can influence how people perceive themselves in comparison to others. In some cultures, modesty and humility are highly prized, making individuals less likely to exhibit overt signs of illusory superiority. In contrast, cultures that emphasize competition and individualism may see a higher prevalence of this bias. Cultures that prioritize collectivism often encourage individuals to downplay their own achievements and focus on the group's success. This can lead to reduced expressions of illusory superiority compared to individualistic cultures, where self-promotion is more common. Cultural communication styles can also impact the expression of this bias. In some cultures, direct or polite communication may mask individuals' true self-perceptions, while in others, direct and assertive communication may reveal a more pronounced sense of superiority. Cultural identity can play a significant role. People from cultures with a history of oppression or marginalization may develop a heightened sense of collective identity and downplay individual superiority. Conversely, individuals from dominant cultures may exhibit higher levels of this bias. Gender stereotypes can influence how individuals perceive their abilities. For example, men may be more likely to exhibit illusory superiority in traditionally male-dominated fields, while women may experience this bias in areas where they're perceived as excelling. From a young age, individuals may be socialized differently based on their gender. Boys may be encouraged to be confident and assertive, potentially leading to higher expressions of illusory superiority in some areas. Girls may be socialized to prioritize humility and avoid appearing conceited. Gender differences in illusory superiority can be context-dependent. In fields or domains where one gender is underrepresented, individuals of that gender may be more susceptible to this bias as they strive to prove themselves. It's important to consider intersectionality, where individuals have multiple aspects of their identity that intersect, such as race, ethnicity, and gender. Intersectionality can result in unique experiences and expressions of illusory superiority. Recognizing and respecting cultural differences is essential in addressing illusory superiority. Practicing cultural competence, which involves understanding and valuing diverse cultural perspectives, can help bridge gaps and reduce misunderstandings. Promoting gender equity and challenging stereotypes is crucial. Encouraging individuals of all genders to pursue their interests and abilities without constraint can help mitigate the impact of illusory superiority based on gender. When addressing these biases, an intersectional analysis that considers the interplay of various aspects of identity, including culture and gender, is essential. It allows for a more nuanced understanding of how these biases manifest. Regardless of cultural or gender backgrounds, promoting self-awareness and humility is a universal strategy for combating illusory superiority. Encouraging individuals to reflect on their beliefs and behaviors can lead to more accurate self-assessments. Cultural and gender differences can influence how illusory superiority manifests in individuals. Recognizing these variations and their underlying factors is essential in fostering inclusivity, promoting self-awareness, and addressing biases effectively across diverse cultural and gender contexts. Recognizing illusory superiority in others is a valuable skill that can improve your interactions, enhance your empathy, and help you navigate situations where overconfidence or inflated self-perceptions come into play. Here we'll delve into strategies and cues to identify this cognitive bias in those around you. Pay attention to people who frequently make absolute statements, such as, "I always know best," or "I never make mistakes." These extreme declarations can be indicative of an underlying sense of superiority. When individuals become overly defensive and resistant to criticism or alternative viewpoints, it may suggest that they're protecting their self-perceived superiority. They might dismiss feedback that challenges their beliefs. People who consistently lack humility and refuse to acknowledge their limitations or mistakes may be influenced by illusory superiority. They may appear unwilling to learn from others. If someone consistently overestimates their abilities or qualities in a particular area without substantial evidence, it's a sign of this bias. They might believe they excel far beyond what is realistic. Watch out for individuals who engage in one-upmanship, constantly trying to outdo others in conversation or action. They may seek to prove their superiority at every opportunity. Individuals influenced by illusory superiority often exhibit confirmation bias, seeking out information that supports their self-perceived excellence while disregarding contradictory evidence. Observe their information-seeking behavior. In social settings, some people may dominate conversations, consistently steering discussions towards their own accomplishments or opinions. This behavior can signal a need to assert superiority. Those with a strong sense of illusory superiority may struggle with empathy as they find it challenging to relate to others' perspectives or challenges. This can manifest as a lack of understanding or support. Excessive competitiveness, especially in situations where cooperation is more important, can indicate a belief in one's own superiority. People may be driven to prove themselves constantly. In personal relationships, look for individuals with consistently unrealistic expectations of others. They may expect partners, friends, or colleagues to match their inflated self-image. Recognizing illusory superiority in others is not about judgment, but about fostering better communication and understanding. It allows you to approach interactions with empathy and awareness. Keep in mind that everyone experiences moments of overconfidence, and illusory superiority is a common cognitive bias. Approach these observations with humility and a willingness to engage in constructive dialogue when necessary. Understanding the signs and cues of illusory superiority in others can be a valuable tool for improving your interactions and building more empathetic relationships. It's an essential skill in today's diverse and interconnected world, allowing us to bridge gaps, challenge assumptions, and engage with others more effectively. Illusory superiority can be observed in various real-world scenarios. Here are some examples that illustrate how this bias can manifest. It's a classic example. Surveys have consistently shown that a majority of drivers believe they're above average behind the wheel. Statistically, not everyone can be above average, highlighting the prevalence of this bias when it comes to assessing driving skills. In the workplace, individuals in leadership roles can sometimes display a strong sense of illusory superiority. They may make decisions with unwavering confidence, assuming they possess superior knowledge and leadership skills. People often overestimate their health and fitness levels. Someone might believe they have a healthier lifestyle than their peers, even if their habits are not significantly different. In the age of social media, illusory superiority can be amplified. Individuals may curate their online personas to portray themselves as more successful, attractive, or happy than they actually are, contributing to the illusion of superiority. In creative fields like art or music, individuals may believe their talent is exceptional, even if they are still developing their skills. This overconfidence can hinder their growth and willingness to learn from others. Parents may exhibit illusory superiority when it comes to their parenting abilities. They might believe they're doing a better job than other parents, even when the reality is far more complex. Illusory superiority can also manifest in political beliefs. Individuals may strongly believe that their political ideology is superior to others, leading to polarization and resistance to alternative viewpoints. Athletes and sports enthusiasts may overestimate their skills or knowledge in their chosen sport. They might confidently offer opinions or advice, assuming their expertise is unmatched. These examples highlight that illusory superiority is a pervasive cognitive bias that can affect individuals across various domains of life. It often leads to unwarranted confidence and can impact decision-making, self-improvement efforts, and interpersonal relationships. Recognizing these examples can serve as a reminder that none of us is immune to this bias, and it's essential to actively cultivate self-awareness and humility to mitigate its effects and make more informed judgments and decisions. Illusory superiority is a fascinating and widespread aspect of human psychology. Throughout this discussion, we've explored the various facets of illusory superiority, from its definition and psychological underpinnings to its impact on decision-making, relationships, and self-improvement. We've delved into the intriguing Dunning-Kruger Effect, a specific manifestation of this bias, and examined how illusory superiority can lead to confirmation bias, reinforcing our pre-existing beliefs. We've also considered how cultural and gender differences can influence the expression of this bias, highlighting the importance of cultural competence and gender equity in addressing it effectively. In our exploration, we've offered strategies to overcome illusory superiority, emphasizing the significance of self-awareness, humility, and openness to feedback. We've discussed the importance of embracing a growth mindset and actively seeking out challenges to foster personal growth. Real-world examples have illustrated how illusory superiority plays out in various domains, from driving abilities and academic performance to leadership confidence and even political beliefs. These examples serve as a reminder that this bias is a pervasive aspect of human cognition, affecting all of us to some extent. Understanding and navigating illusory superiority is a vital step on the path to personal growth and more accurate self-assessment. Recognizing this bias within ourselves and in the world around us empowers us to make more informed decisions, cultivate empathy, and build healthier relationships. It's a journey that requires ongoing self-reflection and a commitment to continuous learning as we strive to bridge the gap between our self-perception and reality. As we navigate the complexities of our own minds and the diverse perspectives of those around us, embracing humility and open-mindedness can help us overcome the pitfalls of illusory superiority. By doing so, we can become more aware, compassionate, and resilient individuals, fostering a richer and more harmonious world for ourselves and those we interact with. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found this video informative and thought-provoking. This is the point at which others tell you, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content just like this. But we all know that that kind of thing is for losers. Don't be a loser. And as always, I welcome your feedback and ideas for future videos in the comments section below. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep embracing your inner nude, dude.